Welcome to Sri and Kira Live. As our world spins seemingly out of control, we are all experiencing time speeding up, chaos shifting to a new level, and a yearning to know the greater mysteries of the universe. What does it all mean? Visionary spiritual teachers and best-selling authors Sri Ram Kaur and Kira Ra explore these mysteries, offer live soul readings, and invite you to open up your mind, body, and spirit to the paradigms that are shifting. Bringing you fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom, here are Sri and Kira.
Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to the Voice of Passionate Action. I am Sri Ram Kaur.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and welcome, beloved ones. And first and foremost, taking a breath and just bring your hands to your heart. And for those of you that are watching us on videos right now, you might notice this wonderful open eye energy. And we are going to be talking all about the explosion of consciousness through awareness, what this means and why it matters. A huge show today. So thank you for being here with us. Plus, by popular demand, another segment from Bria Rose. We're going to be airing to you some other video that I think you're going to be really excited to see. So lots coming up today, Sri.
Absolutely, because we are just riding that wave into June. June is a magnification unlike other magnifications.
Explosion!
And we want to say hi to all of our listeners at BBS Radio,
Hi.
Oneness Talk Radio, and the video is streaming live at YouTube and Facebook, Oneness Talk Radio's channel over there. So welcome, beloved community, wherever you are, and whenever you catch this, the time is right.
Yeah.
The time is now. And let's take a breath together.
Okay.
And I am here.
I am here.
And I am ready.
I am ready.
And I'm open.
You know it.
And I am guided.
Yes, I am. And yes, you are. And hey, remember those phone lines. I'm watching them fill up really fast right now. You can join the conversation, ask for a mini soul reading, ask Sri to assist with any kind of Ascension symptomology. And those two phone numbers are, first and foremost, over at our 800 number, where you'll be talking to our producer, Dawn, 888-627-6008. Again, that's 888-627-6008. And let Dawn know if you wanted to ask Sri a question as well, so that we have that availability. And over at Oneness Talk Radio, you can get into the queue, and the number there is 517-208-1500. Again, that's 517-208-1500. Over there, if you have a question for Sri, just press *5, and that raises your hand and lets us know that you've got a question for Sri as well. And so welcome, everyone. We are just delighted to have this June moment with you. And Sri, I'm still somewhat recuperating from even everything that's happened. Have you felt this June like explosion energy?
Well, I'll tell you what, here we are, it's, 7th of June?
Right.
Yesterday on the 6th, we had our Mastery Mentorship Miracle Gathering.
Wow.
And this was a wonderful gathering. We had buku people there that were just a nice large audience participating by lending their energy toward manifesting miracles on this planet in their lives and for the benefit of all creation.
Yeah.
And it was a fabulous ensoulment at the end of this gathering. And I know that when Kira and I kind of quietly said, okay, everybody, float away, go where you want to go. At the end of the gathering, we floated away, sat down on the couch, and an amazing amount of time went by before we finally came back and said, wow. That was a wonderful gathering.
Well, not only that, but it was in this energy, right?
Yes.
In this explosion of consciousness, right? And the awareness that's happening. And so, thank you for sharing that, Sri, because sincerely to all of you that are part of our Mastery Mentorship team, wow, the energy that ignited during our sharing yesterday. And I will share with you that later on in today's show, I have got letters and sharings to really shout out, and including an update from Paul and Christine in Mississippi. A lot of you have been asking, so there's a lot going on, and this is just the first, as you've mentioned, Sri.
We're in the first week.
First 7 days, and this is why we're taking this one week by week, because in explosion energy, the bigger the explosion, the more intensity of the energy, the faster and the faster. So I said vaster and faster.
Faster
and faster, right? The vaster and the faster, all of this is escalating. So much so that let's dive into how that's happening. You want to do that?
Absolutely.
All right. So we're gonna show you, Shri. The first thing I want to share with them is the 2-year, let's see, the 2-year overlap right there, 2020 Ascension overlap. There it is.
Go.
Okay. So this is where I want to start because it brings us specifically to this week. Right now, we are in a unique period that was not known until it happened. It was literally one of those beautiful blessings. And so many of you know that we opened up a period of time from 2015 through 2021. This is the Ascension escalator of authenticity. This is when the 7 polarities of free will are going to be played out. This is when all of this energy is happening. And this was really supposed to carry us up until 2022, meaning that the Roaring 20s was really not going to kick off until 2022. And then what has happened is due to the rise in the sphere dimension, and we have taught all of this in the Lineage Holder program. So if you took the Lineage Holder program, you've read all this. And if you haven't, go to our home study. It's really affordable if you feel called, learn about it. But in essence, what happened was that because the Roaring 20s opened up with such profound intensity due to the condensation of the multidimensional experience, there was an overlap that was created. So 2020 and 2021 are now, and if you look at this graphic, you see the arrows between the 2020 and the arrows between the 2021 and the hands there breaking free of chains. We are literally holding the Ascension escalator of authenticity in our hands, and it is at the very last moment that we are actually being pulled to overlap with the energy that is coming in right now. And this is what started the entire 2-year up-level. This is why the up-level calendar was, thank God, given to us. And you can find that at ShriandKira.com. And that's why we've been aware of all of these things that have been happening, including this, and why this is so profound.
Well, and one of the things that always brings me into my humility is that when the revelations come through, when the ascension energy, call it predictions or revelations, come through, they are brought forward as energetics. What's not brought forward is the details of what will they look like, how will it present. It's a flow. You know, if you have a boat on an ocean, the wave lifts the boat and the boat will fall, but we don't know for sure what the boat looks like until we kind of get there. And so what's happening here in June, I just love this graphic. If we take a look here, the eye in the pyramid,
right.
Such a classic, profound symbol. And what is happening in June is this explosion of awareness.
Consciousness.
And consciousness, and the energetic is going, well, we're going to talk more about this today, but the energetic has an opportunity to head a couple of directions.
Well, let's talk about that, because one of the things, if you were with us yesterday in the Mastery Mentorship, we started talking about what is happening right now. And Shri, this is the Venn diagram. There it is. Okay. So no, that's the wrong one. I mean, that's it, but that's not the right one. I need the one with all the things written on it, sweetheart, that I sent to you. And that was really, really important for today.
Well, I'll look for it while you do
Okay, I'll let Shri look for it. Let's go to live camera. So, okay, I'm hoping we can find that graphic. That was a really important one for today. It's like the meat of all of this. So let me start sharing what you were seeing. What is happening right now is that, number one, we are in the pre-Mercury retrograde experience. That happened June 1. So right there on June 1, we fell into, yes, that's the one. Right there on June 1, we hit not only the pre-Mercury retrograde, and remember, we talked about this last week. We are going to have a rare triple retrograde over the solstice. But in addition to that, we also have what's happening right now, which is that we are in that energy, And this eye opened on Friday during that incredible full moon eclipse. Why is this pyramid here? The 3 super moons of March, April, and May. The eye is June, and that is why it is happening right now. Now, I don't know what you're seeing. Are they seeing that?
Yeah, they are. I thought it would stay on you, but it didn't.
Okay, so they're seeing this picture right now.
now.
Okay, beautiful. So guys, this is what I want you to understand, because this is why it's so darn important. Today, the divine directors came in, and I've been saying I wanted to make this graphic, and it was coming in, and I just honestly forgot to bring it forward. Well, today the divine directors came in, and they said, cast aside that which causes fury, and you shall release all doubt eternally. And that is what's happening right now. As you gaze at this graphic, that red sphere on the left side represents January 1, 2020 through the last day of this month, June 2020. And if you look at the right side and the blue sphere, that represents from June 1, 2020 all the way out until January 1, 2020. And January 1, thank you, 2021. Yeah. And so what's happened right now is that can you go back to that 2-year up level for me now? Okay, and so the overlap. Okay, so here's what's happening, guys. We are crashing into 2020 early. So let's go back to a live camera. What does that mean? Well, and then we're going to go back to this graphic. Because 2021 is coming in early, everything that was going to come forward in 2021 is actually starting to manifest. You know, this month, and we were talking about this yesterday, we're very blessed that this week we also welcomed our brand new general manager here at Tosa Blue Mountain, Daniel. And one of the things he shared with us is that he was so excited to be starting June 1 with Tosa Blue Mountain, and that because here in Ecuador, and I guess looking around our valley, we should have already picked up on this. This is the moment of birth of all new things.
Everybody's planting.
All the seeds are being sown. Everything is being created. And my heart was just so big that it was so right in alignment with everything that has been coming forward. And so when we cast aside that which causes fury, and release all doubt eternally, what's happening is that, and now I want to go back to that graphic again, what's happening is that we are in this explosion energy because we are colliding timelines. Remember that in this year, June is a culminating month of visionary transformation through timeline adaptation. We are not going to revisit this energy again until fall. And so what's happening is that the eye, literally, you see it in the middle there, the eye has ignited. Now, that is why, and the reason we're showing you this so clearly is this month is all about literally living in the 5th dimension. And here is what the divine directors had to share about what you're staring at. And this came in at 11:54 a.m. this morning. So looking at the left side, they are sharing 2020. The ruby is the energy of 2020, which is the 4 energy of ascended numerology. The still center of creation as held together through the acceptance of self-mastery as your living ascended presence. Or, now remember, this is based on how you're spinning, right? So you're either spinning up, you're spiraling up in this ruby energy, or you're in this lateral downward type spiral, and they're saying the red of rage and fury that ignited the all through the experience and is also a rising energy. And so this is really discerning and important to recognize that between January and the end of this month, we are still in it. This is that ruby red energy that would have been all of this year. And now it's colliding with the 2021 energy early. And imagine these two, the red and the blue overlaying, which makes violet, right? So imagine the red and the blue overlaying each other. And that's what's going to bring us to the end of the year. That's when we're going to hit that December 31 transitioning into January 21 choice moment. And it's going to literally be humanity's choice. And the gift we're being given is we're getting to be with this and be aware of it and have called it in early, which means all the gifts, everything you've been waiting to do is going to manifest faster. Law of instantaneous manifestation. So here's what they're saying about the 2021. If you now look over at the blue area there, the blue sphere. The first thing they said was, remember that this will be a 50. This is a 5 plus the infinite. It is a prime year. For those of you that have taken Ascended Numerology, you know what that means. It is a prime plus the infinite. It is the flowing cosmos of service. It's all about flow and service. Now, here's what the Divine Director said, that 2021 will call forward the infinite eternal life presence as mirrored through the energy of moonstone as ignition of the energy. So think of a beautiful high-end moonstone that has that crystalline quality with that blue, right? That illuminating blue. And here is what they are saying, that just like the ruby, that higher dimensional frequency of January through June, well, the higher dimensional frequency of June through January 2021 is going to be the blue ray integration of the crystalline flow of divine presence as a steady, abundant stream of support that can only be activated from the fifth dimension. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Or this energy will be, so remember, that's that upward spiral energy. Or if you're in that lateral density energy, it will feel as if it is water that is freezing everything, so frozen that it cannot move and can only survive by shutting down what it considers to be unnecessary systems. And so this is a very profound moment. And in this Venn diagram, June is the buffer. Yeah. This is where it all begins, but it's going to keep, imagine the ruby and the blue. They're like doing this right now. They're relaxing into being with each other, and they're going to keep coming together until they make violet. And so this is a very profound, unique moment. And this is why the open eye of awareness, remember, a big, big, big awareness month. We just finished a choice month. Awareness, awareness, awareness.
You know, I just feel compelled to share a little bit for those of you that may not have tracked with Kira and I for a while. I want you to know that one of the things we teach and we talk about is how time is an illusion. And the idea of imposing tick-tock linear time upon a reality is actually an act of fear and an act of egoic control. So when we take time out of that linear flow and we begin to look at energetics and now come to this wonderful Venn diagram of the first 6 months of this year, greeting the 2021 energy coming forward to greet. And there is this intersection, which is an alchemical interaction that is going to cause many folks who are already on a path of upliftment to lift ever more rapidly and discover instantaneous manifestation, to discover the joyful state of beingness that goes, all is well, I trust the divine, let's keep going, and I'll help out who's ever in front of me. You know, it's just the joy of service, the joy of being. That's one possible path or zone, you could call it. The other possible zone is this rage energy that's going on, the ruby energy. Now, I like to think of that in terms of activism, because there's a lot of that happening on the planet right now. Within the density consciousness, the mass consciousness, there's this ruby energy is this fueling this petition to these demands. Now, what happens is as that accelerates and lifts, many of those who are caught in the polarity of that anger-based rage will all of a sudden go, oh, wait a minute, and they're going to lift through.
Well, this is, I want to just reiterate again that the ruby energy is the energy of the divine still center.
Yes.
And that it is that red flame type energy that is the anger rage energy that they're talking about. And that I want to just share this quote again.
Yeah.
Cast aside that which causes fury.
There it is.
Right?
There it is.
Cast aside that. This was this morning at 11:44 a.m. here at Tosa Blue Mountain. And poor Shri, we were actually in the pool and we were doing our therapy. And I had to get out of the pool because it was like, you need to write this down and share it with everyone. Cast aside that which causes fury, and you shall release all doubt eternally. And everything you're sharing, Shri, I really, if you don't mind, I really want to show the Pyramid of Spiritual Awakening and the cycle of recognition, because that's what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about the fear and anger loop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bringing this, so these wonderful energetics and this collision in June and this explosion, at the very human level, people are going to be called, if they are available to the consciousness, to recognize, am I in a loop of fear and anger?
Right.
Or can I be grateful for all that is in front of me as it restores me to my center?
So as you're staring at here, what we're inviting you to consider is authentic joy. So look at this pyramid. The pyramid begins with emotional joy. Emotional joy is transient joy. It's needs dependent. It's wants dependent. It often comes in around a sense of something in you that lacks. So it fulfills something that you feel is lacking. Thereby you feel joyous, but that joy goes away if that situation would change. And because our joy is so unstable, it actually is the breeding ground of fear. It is the absolute breeding ground of fear because you're afraid of losing. You're afraid of losing that which makes you feel joy-filled because you've yet to discover that the authentic joy. And so from that emotional joy, we actually, and our dependence upon it, we actually breed more fear. And then when the fear starts becoming too strong, when the fear starts becoming its own, like the fear body on the planet, right? The planetary thought body is all about fear. Then we actually birth anger. We're angry that our fear is right, and thereby our joy is gone. And it's a loop. And it is a loop that will always blame, that will always have a partner in pain, that always wants to talk about the same thing over and over and over again, because deep within, they are still wounded. And this is a blessing to remember that deep within, all wounds are coming forward to be healed right now. We are in the explosion of consciousness through awareness. That is an extraordinary moment, is a moment of gratitude. And of course, imagine if you were standing in that emotional joy down at the bottom of this pyramid, looking up right now. And as you look up at the top of the pyramid, you see this beautiful crystalline opening. And to find it, right on the other side is your authentic joy. And to find it, all you need to do is bring a hand to your heart, relax, and love yourself enough to say thank you for bringing me here right now. Let go, I want to say one more thing, to let go of all hope of a better past.
Yes.
Because right now, the world is not letting go of all hope of a better past, and you can see what it manifests. What a mirror. What a mirror in our illusion, huh?
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of people having many opportunities to grow.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like about that graphic, which is so simple, is that the true joy of beingness is the outer circle.
Exactly.
And that the very specific human experiences of emotional joy, which is always exterior dependent,
right,
and fear and anger and the loop and even the gratitude is what opens us up into the greater recognition that everything that is happening with the permission of your soul and the joy of your beingness to allow a polarized experience to manifest.
Go, Sri.
So here we are.
Yes,
Where are
yes,
you putting
yes,
your
yes.
consciousness? On the particular subset of possibility, which is I'm angry, I'm mad, they took away my whatever, I'm not happy anymore. Or the greater ground of being, which goes, oh, wow, look at this human experience. What fun.
Explosion energy.
And in that explosion into the joy of expanded beingness, we don't fuel the egoic perspective with any intensity any longer.
Yeah.
The ego will periodically give you a little nudge and we go, there, go back to bed. But the joy is the state of soul connection,
Yes.
soul expression that allows all this drama to dance. And when we anchor our consciousness in the soul's perspective, everything falls into place. You're never alone. There's always joy, and trust and love are the flow upon which we dance.
Well, and it really brings me back to this moment right now, is that here we are, and I want to just quickly remind you of the energy flow for the entire year, because it just makes so much sense. And that is that, remember that March, April, May, and June, those 4 months were the first 4 months that we were all transiting visionary transformation through timeline adaptation, and that they were forming the base of this pyramid. We will anchor this, the final 2 points that lifted into a 6-pointed Merkaba. Right now it's a 4-pointed diamond. What will finalize it will be October, November. So right now we are in the way I want to describe it is we are in the pyramid of creation. We are in this energy of creation, and it has ignited the heart of the butterfly. Because if you look at January, February, and September, and then look at July, August, and December, those 6 months of the year are like the pillars of support, profound shift. And what's so important here is to notice that it opened in January and it's going to close in December. That both of those months, the opening and the closing month of the year, are like these beautiful catty corner diagonal points that are saying, okay, we're going to bridge this together. And what you're seeing, and this is that spiral, you see the spiral that brings the whole thing together. It's that awakening to self-ascension. It's the moment of the absolute explosion of consciousness. And as we talked about back in December 2019, this year was going to invite more people to lift into a higher state of consciousness than they ever have before, more rapidly than they ever have. And that was what started that 2-year slide I showed you, and why the Roaring 20s shifted. And there are, and I really do need to share it, because recently I was, Ishri and I were featured on a panel with a few people, and my heart was so big around them because they are using dates that in their heart they believe are real, and they're not. And God bless them, they're real in their experience. However, the reason I'm bringing it up, and I'm not going to say specifically which, what I will say is this. This is a moment where the divine directors have said over and over again that everything we need to live in the fifth dimension is being given to us, and that to ignite this torsion field, and remember, as they said right here, it has to be done in the fifth dimension, right? Mm-hmm. That in order to carry this energy, it has to be done in the fifth dimension. And so to hold that torus field, which keeps the unified field of this body of form consciously connected here, yet consciously in the 0-point alchemical process, it takes steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. And that in that moment right now, in this open eye energy, as we are now from June 5 through June 22, when we get through the opening of the Mercury retrograde, we are in a early illuminated new moon energy. And so remember, this is 4 full moons that created this. March, April, and May. And this is the June solar eclipse that just opened 2 days ago. So the explosion of consciousness has begun, and the peeling away of all of that which would seek to blind you is gone. The only thing left is your choice. And that's why it's so beautiful to be in Awareness Month, because your choice is building again. And we are in June awareness, July experience, August choice. So look at what's coming forward right now. What is your awareness showing you as this first month of this 2021? So whatever your dreams were that you were like, oh, I'll manifest that next year, pull it in. pull it in, say yes, say yes, say yes. So I think it's just an extraordinary moment, Sri.
Absolutely, and I love the graphic you created that
Thank
shows
you.
the representation of the collision of these energies, because this explosion right now, and one of the other things that was mentioned by the divine directors is, as this 2021 energy is coming to greet us here in June,
Now,
there are those that are going to find a great sense of upliftment, and there are those that are going to feel as if a frozen cap has been placed upon them.
literally stuck. Now think about that blue energy, right? That integration of that blue energy is either going to be, and I love what they said because it's so wonderful. They're saying that the blue ray integration, because this was all of 2021, starting to come in now. What a blessing, right? Blue ray integration of the crystalline flow of divine presence as a steady, abundant stream of support activated from the fifth dimension. And this is why I want to go back. We have the June energy, right? Just the one. I know we tried it earlier. There it is. June energy visual. There it is. Okay, guys. So this is the graphic that I made for June. And I was talking about this during the Mastery Mentorship yesterday, but this is what's going on. So if you look up at the top right, that's the fifth dimensional lift. Imagine that as the fifth dimensional elevator, okay? And below it there, that violet kind of energy with the beautiful, like the aurora borealis coming from the fifth dimension and spiraling around the planet, that's the ascension escalator of your divine presence, meaning you have lifted. This is from outside the planetary thought body. That's why there's no continents, there's no division, there's no demarcation, because once you escape the planetary thought body, there's just the loving essence of oneness and right action. So what you're gazing at in the bottom corner there with the kind of the aurora borealis is the flow that you're taking. And imagine those are all beings of light going into that fifth dimensional anchor ship. And you see I've trailed it up like a rainbow into that. And when you first enter, it's a lot of green. That's because your divine galactic blueprint, which takes you effortlessly here, only begins when you anchor the ascended heart. Now, as you notice that entering into the fifth dimension, then you notice up at the top corner there's this huge like sphere of light coming out of the violet area. That is the integration of the fifth dimension, whereby now imagine that you are gazing toward that pyramid and the open eye and the explosion of consciousness. And from the perspective of the fifth dimension, what you see is that you are literally directly working with that crystalline explosion of light right into that void of creation of the open eye, into the energy of this planet, thereby igniting a second wave of energy that will shower this planet and unify the fifth dimension energy once more. Remember that the fifth dimensional energy has been eroding. That's why the lineage holders have been meeting. That's why we've been doing all the time jumps. That's why yesterday the Mastery Mentorship team, we went on, from what I understand, an extraordinary journey. I've yet to really hear the whole thing myself. And so what you are staring at here is the moment at hand from a cosmic perspective. And that is why, with all of our heart and soul, Sri and I were asked, we were literally asked by the Archangelic Realm and the Ascended Realms to please unlock the keys of the Living in the Fifth Dimension series. Yeah. And so we are honored and excited starting tomorrow night.
So tomorrow night. So for those of you watching this now, or even after we start, you can still join in.
Yeah, it's going to be 12 weeks every Monday.
Every Monday, we're going to be, we will send you the printed material in your email. You'll be given a link to go to the live video, and we'll be interacting. We will be unpacking. We'll be looking at the codes of ascension on how to activate your ascended chakra system, how to live in the fifth dimension with joy and purpose and choice. And I just want to underscore something. Everything we've talked about and everything going on in humanity, your freedom is a choice away.
Wow, huh?
Your joy is just one choice away.
Also,
not a wish.
Nope.
A proactive decision to say enough of what was, and now I choose my joy. And to let it all fall away, whatever is keeping you in the habit of the pain.
Of the pain. That's from our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, Archangel Zadkiel. The habit of the habit of the pain
pain
of
of
the
the
pain.
pain.
You have got to
It's a
want
humanity
freedom
thing.
more. It is, but it's easy to stay there. I think this is really.
Well, yeah.
I don't think we should gloss over this
I'm
because
not
it's that
going.
important.
No,
Yeah,
here's the deal:
Yeah.
is we have the capacity.
that is what it's about, guys.
We as human beings have the capacity to endure a whole lot of heavy stuff.
Right,
To endure
right.
pain, to endure disappointment, to endure discomfort in the body. And what has happened
And to
over
accept it as real.
that's what's happened
Yeah.
over the millennia
Yeah.
is that has become a habit of having pain. The habit of the habit. It's like we look out and we just look out and say, well, that's just the way it is. Really?
Yeah, and it's
Really?
impossible. Anytime, right. That's the way it is means, okay, my consciousness has accepted this level of experience as everything I need to complete the mission for my soul in this lifetime. So I want to really bring this into perspective because all of that is okay. All of it. Goodness knows I went through all of it. There's very little anyone can share with me that I probably haven't personally gone through. And there was a moment in my life where I felt all of the guilt, shame, doubt, anger, frustration, and all those things that come with that. All of it, including the 4 husbands before my beloved Sri Ramka. And yet it is when we get to these moments, and the fact that we are here in this moment as an entire moment, meaning that collectively we are at the explosion of consciousness, be on your knees and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. For you to have consciously called yourself to be here means you were strong enough to get through everything you've had to go through to get here right now. It means you have one hell of an ego because it has done everything in its power to stop you, and there are times it still does. And it means that you are a master. If you have tuned in to this experience right now, if you are connecting with this incredible community of self-ascension, and I encourage you to do so, I know that there is tons going on over at our Facebook page, get there, and of course the YouTube channel. I know lots of conversations and postings going on.
Yep.
But that's because we are finally standing up and finding each other. Remember, beloved ones, that to carry the energy that you are carrying in this planet right now means that you could not fully awaken until you really knew the flip side. And then to stay awake means to have complete naked authenticity with the one within that would seek to stop you. Yeah. Because that is when the final mastery key is unlocked. And every one of us, without exception, will face that moment. The moment where the ego is screaming and justifying and becomes your greatest partner in pain. And the habit of that partner in pain that's giving you all the reasons why everyone else is wrong and why you are right will be the moment of your greatest breakthrough.
You know, I'm reminded as you're sharing that,
Please.
that for me, and I believe for us, one of the greatest breakthroughs for us were the periods of fasting.
Yeah.
That when, fasting begins in whatever way is safe and for you. It could be a liquid fast. It could be a 3-day fast. It could be 5 days.
It could
whatever.
also be a tech fast. I mean, you can begin with just
fast
fasting from technology.
Would be
Yeah.
But the piece that I want to communicate is that when we went through a series of cleanses leading up to a 40-day water fast at the recommendation of the Archangelic Realm.
This is when we lived at Tosa Ranch, New Mexico.
And what that did for me, among many things, was it helped me get behind the camera of my egoic projections that the content of the ego mind is everything from you're too old to fast for that length of time, you're going to lose too much weight, this is just you don't have anything to prove, what are you doing, and all of that. And when we began to get behind the construct of this entire co-created illusion and move into what was truly essential, which is your divinity. Having a human experience. This is an experience, not a reality in the sense of what is truly real. And that the fasting, it was a fasting from the illusion. I thought I was not eating food. But what I realized as we got several weeks into this thing.
That was when Zelda came.
Yeah, that we were fasting from the illusion and anchoring into a state of alignment with what was essence.
Yeah.
And so I share that with you because it isn't required that you go off in the desert for 40 days. That's not required. What is suggested is that you find a way to unhook from the unconscious habit of the assumption of this is the way things are, and instead, get beyond the veil.
Yes.
And some people work with psychedelics. Some people work with their consciousness. Some people work with meditation, with chanting, with mantras. There's many ways that help give you that glimpse. Once the glimpse is received, your perspective and your context then can grow into an essential way of being outside of ego dependence.
And I have to jump in and that's where you gotta want it. You gotta get clean. I mean, nakedly authentic with yourself. And, my favorite example of that was when you first reached out to me. We met online. And my favorite example was when Sri wrote me for the first time, and his subject line was escalator to expansion. And I kid you not, guys, I sat there and I looked at his subject line after getting over the fact that my girlfriend put me on the site. I didn't even know I was there. And
Thank you, girlfriend.
Yeah, really. And I felt such like I knew that core, that intuition, that knowing that it's like, I knew that if I even answered his email, I could never lie to myself again. I couldn't hide. I couldn't pretend. I was going to have to step into who I really was. And because of that, I think I waited a day or two before I responded to him, because I knew if I responded to him, what was going to happen. And it was like jumping off a cliff. It really was. And it was not 100% fun. Those of you that have read Sacred Union, The Journey Home know the story. But the key is that we are at that moment right now, collectively. So for those of you that are very clear on these moments that you have already had, those explosions of consciousness, those undeniable moments that no matter what confronts it, nothing can take away what you know is the truth, right? And Sri and I have been so impacted by this, we actually rewatched the movie Contact yesterday. And so if you haven't connected with Contact in a while, great time to reconnect with it. Jodie Foster, great movie. Lots of powerful symbolism for this moment right now. Really kind of, if you're looking for a good movie to hang out with that's family friendly.
It's kind of fun as it gives you a very clear glimpse on how the powers of density interact with the possible revelations.
Well, and Sri, speaking of that, we have got so many people that have been writing us as well. And I also want to again share that a lot of you, in response to Bria Rose last week, sent us your recipes and your pictures, and we've been getting poems and songs. Please, please, please go to our Facebook, the Sri and Kira Official. I might be saying that wrong. Maybe over in the chat somewhere, somebody can say if it's right. There are groups there. Post, please. Post. Bring it all. Please
share
post
with
it.
Each
We
other.
really are just loving the sharing. And Sri, I want to go over here because we have, here we go. Okay. From Anne, and her subject line is Shri's Healing Readings, Ascension Symptoms. Okay. And so this is from Anne. Hi, Anne. And let me read her sharing.
Please
we're going to begin. And those of you that would like to send us email, and I know we have tons of you holding on the phone. Don't hang up. We're going to get to you. You can always send us an email to guest, G-U-E-S-T, at ShriandKiraRadio.com. And we do go through them. We get a lot of emails, but always send it. And of course, always keep trying to call as well. So I'll read this because the type's kind of small.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to get close to my iPad to read it too, guys. Namaste, Sri and Kira, and this wonderful community. I would be very grateful for one of Shri's healing readings during the community hour if possible, as I have been compelled to write in. I have very odd symptoms with my skin. I have red angiomas, which started from my solar plexus area during a pregnancy in 2012, I think, and they now cover most of my limbs and body. I also have another covering of tiny pinprick-sized brown dots all over my body and limbs, and there are literally thousands of them. My doctor saw this and immediately sent my blood for analysis, which showed nothing wrong. I was also sent to a dermatology special interest clinic. About 15 or so skin specialists can't explain it other than that age and pregnancy. I am not unwell, and I do not believe it is anything to worry about. However, the timing coincides with my ascension path. I am currently working on loving and accepting myself in case this is some form of self-rejection, and would appreciate your thoughts on this and give you full permission to look at it. Love and blessings, Anne. And Anne left a little PS about how I can't call in because of my children, and I don't want to hog your time. This is Anne from Scotland. You are not hogging our time. There's a lot of people having similar things. So, Sheree, thank you for offering Anne this gift, and thanks for asking, Anne.
There's multiple layers here, and more than we can go in depth with right now, but I want to offer you a few tidbits that I think might be important. The first is to recognize that the role of the skin is respiration, just like the lungs. Only the skin is your largest organ of elimination. So when the skin has an expression, chances are it's working hard to transmute an energy, to release something. So that said, from one perspective, it's important to look at the skin and say thank you for your service, and to connect with whatever the outbreak is, like if it was a rash in one particular area, and you mentioned it began in the solar plexus area and then grew, is to bring your hands to that area, to let go of all medical whatevers, overlays, and just be present. So you bring your hands to the outbreak, the rash, breathe, and very slowly send the breath down to that area and just ask, show me, I'm here. What is your message? And be present to the message that will be revealed to you from the rash. Because there is information there for you. And it's important to be in a very calm, loving, non-judgmental, receptive place when interacting with the body. The body has a mission to serve you, and it's doing its level best to do that. So this is one perspective and a very useful thing to do. The other is for you to take a look at how fully you are trusting who you are and your willingness to anchor who you are in this life that you're living. Because whenever there is a little separation between our higher truth and our expressed truth in the outer world, there is a tension. And that tension is kind of an irritation also. And that can be expressed through the skin. So I want you to look there. So there's two things to look at. Here's the third. Sometimes there are cosmic overlays which come in as a reminder that you're not just of this world.
And I want to jump in there and say, what you described, I have had for years. And so I'm just sharing with you that I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but it certainly has not been anything that has hindered me in any way. And as Sheree just mentioned, in those moments where I am or more than ordinarily aware that I am gazing through what feels like an outer shell, I become aware of how that shell has been adapting to the frequency. And so it could be part of a frequency adaptation, just sharing. So thank you for asking.
And I want to compliment and encourage you. I noticed in your letter there was this overall air of acceptance to say, so this is here. I'm not worried. I'm willing to accept it. Beautiful. That's where you begin. And now have a conversation with it from a non-judgmental fifth dimensional energy. Hello, body.
Yeah. Hey, bud. How you doing?
Tell me a little bit about this. Yeah. And be in that kind of open curiosity, and you'll be amazed what's shared.
You really will. And thank you again for asking. And Sheree, I wanted to really discuss how this moment, this up-level moment right now. So let's go back and remember again. Let's put up the June calendar just one more time, because I really want to make sure we're all really kind of hanging with that right now. So this month just opened up and went boom, here's the fifth dimension. And if you look at the calendar, look at near the end of the month there, when we get into that illuminated new moon, that's when things are going to try to pull themselves backwards just a little bit. And so what's important is to stay above it, to see it for what it is, to send it that radiance. And what just happened was June 1 was the first, see that star? That was the first up level of a month that carries 2 up level moments. Plus, on the 21st, that is a peak up level of which there are only 3 in the entire year. So on the 5th, we open the eye with that full moon eclipse, and between now and all the way through the illuminated new moon, actually through the 22nd, we are in this heightened creation illuminated presence that is carrying with it the first energies of that blue ray crystalline illumination support from 2021 early. And this is why I want you to look at the weekend of the solstice. You have Friday the 19th. That is when the Mercury retrograde begins, which is going to amplify the creation even more and show you that energy of relaunch, return, remember. So the 19th is really the platform of the relaunch. So how beautiful that between now and the 19th, you've got everything in motion. You're planting your seeds, you're flowing. And then on the 20th, that's the return. That's the solstice. It is a big day. Do you notice in this whole month, that is the day that has the clearest energy outside of everything that's happening in our realm of existence. And so join us live from the Fountain of Creation here at Tosa Blue Mountain for that fire ceremony of creation from 4 to 5 p.m. And then on the 21st, right here on Sri and Kira Live, we will together dive into the illuminated new moon eclipse, a second eclipse. It's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy, and a peak up level moment. That is why right now everything feels so incredibly intense, big, time. And Sri, you opened up the show today. It's really about staying outside of time. Be aware of the fluidity of time. And within this energy of this pre-retrograde and this illumination, we are also at this moment of dancing, creating, exploding.
Yes. You know, you mentioned the June solstice.
Oh, yes.
I just want to put this up
here. Well, talk
here.
about dancing, creating, yeah.
Is that we really want you to take notice that this is going to be a powerful solstice experience for those that are ready for it. And that we're going to have a live broadcast from our water therapy center and the Fountain of Creation and the fire, and we're going to be offering you a guided ceremony on that day as well. And
and this will all be live.
It's all live. We're going to get started at 4 o'clock Central, and we'll be done at 5 o'clock. But at 4:44 Central Daylight Time, June 20th, is when we're in that solstice moment.
So we will be together at the exact moment of the solstice, which Central Time, where we live here in the center of the world, is 4:44. So please visit sriandkira.com and register. This is a donation event. All donations accepted. And so register, be there. Please share. Let us get a critical mass, because that ruby energy and that blue ray energy, I just want to put that up again, guys, and I want to share again what the divine director shared about this today. So again, the left side is January 1, 2020 through the end of the month, June 2020. The right side, the blue sphere, is June 1, 2020 through January 1, 2021. And what's happened is that this energy is coming early, and that's why it's starting. And we are in a moment of explosion where these are melding together. And how beautiful that when they come together, they create the violet. This is another reason why the fifth dimensional experience is what's happening right now. And again, here is what the divine director said today. Maybe bring a hand to your heart. Take in a breath.
Take a breath. Cast aside that which causes fury, and you shall release all doubt eternally.
Take in a breath. And we're going to offer you the full June energy coming in from the fifth dimension. So again, you want to come way up to that fifth dimensional portal there and feel yourself in that ascended energy beaming into the energy that is opened of the cosmic universe. And I will share with you what came in today. The ruby energy is the 4 of ascended numerology. It is the still center of creation, as held together through the acceptance of your self-mastery as your living self-ascended presence. Or it is the red of rage and fury that ignited all through the experience. This is also a rising energy. 2021 is the year of the 5 plus the infinite. It is a prime as the flowing cosmos of service, the infinite eternal life presence mirrored through the moonstone ignition of energy. It carries the blue ray integration of the crystalline flow of divine presence as a steady, abundant stream of support activated from the 5th dimension. Or it shall feel as if it is water that freezes everything, so frozen it cannot move and can only survive by shutting down all unnecessary systems. And just breathe that in and feel that energy, because everything has been illuminated with awareness. We are already in the illuminated new moon, which is going to carry a peak up level. This is a moment for you to flourish. The law of instantaneous manifestation is coming forward so quickly. Yesterday, during the Mastery Mentorship Gathering, there were so many people sharing the miracles that have been happening. New homes, new places, new situations, things that are manifesting instantaneously, healings. It was just humbling to be present to all of it. That is what this energy can offer you right now. But what's the catch? It's about saying yes to you and anchoring outside of the rage, outside of the fury, and coming into that higher presence that begins with what? Bringing our arms of compassion around ourselves, forgiving ourselves first, letting go of all hope of a better past, standing in our power right now with our eyes wide open and able to say thank you to every single experience that has brought us to this moment now, because that's when the dance begins. The expansion of consciousness is an explosion, and it is getting bigger right now through the awareness of the moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important. You know, I love the phrase, let go of all hope of a better past, because that is the essence of forgiveness. It is the essence of being present in the now. However, let's let go of all expectations, period. To have a sense of positivity is just fine. To demand that things look a certain way is projecting a judgment into the future. That's what I mean by the expectation. To be in the joyful presence of now, to have let go of all hope of a better past, to be in that beautiful circle of joy that allows you to feel gratitude and to be in service, that will carry you. And what is required will manifest.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, it's as simple as steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. And, you know, speaking of all of that, this week we've put together a little film for you. And what we've done is several things this week. And really, I hope you sit and enjoy it. It's only a total of about 8 minutes. But we open up with taking you from sunset on the evening of the full moon eclipse, from sunset here at Tosa Blue Mountain, all the way through to the peak moment of the moon. Here in Ecuador, we did not get to see the eclipse. That happened during the afternoon. But the energy that was transmitted was so profound that we wanted to offer that gift to you as well. In addition to that, Bria Rose has her newest segment, and this week she's got some surprises in there. So I'm just really excited. You'll get to connect with Bria Rose. And Shri and I also want to extend a special bow. You know, we have been, from the moment all of this came forward, we have been hands on deck running every day, doing everything we can to help as many as possible. And we have been blessed that Monday Magic birthed out of all of this, which we are, as we all know, we're going to keep going with. And all of your donations go to the programs that we are now supporting and that now are becoming even more life-saving than we even knew when we began. And so we've included some beautiful letters from these people, pictures of actual people. You'll see Bria Rose in there. You'll see Daniel, our new general manager here at Tosa Blue Mountain. Angel is in there. And we also put in some miracle things that have happened here at Tosa Blue Mountain this week, and wanted to share a little bit of that with you as well. So quite a fun video coming up.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to all of you that have offered specific donations for the humanitarian aid.
You are a gift from God.
All of you that have enrolled in these programs that we are offering, because that money also goes to support the expansion of the free pain clinic, and COVID in a country like Ecuador, let alone I think every country has a similar situation.
Absolutely.
Those that were the most fragile, that had the least amount of reserves in the way of food and money saved, were hurt. And suffered or are suffering, period.
As is happening globally.
And that's happening everywhere, especially in some of the larger cities. And so we felt that we can make a difference, that we can lend a hand, that when people are in need, it's the time to remember all that we have and what we can share.
Absolutely.
And so several thousand meals have been served due to the courtesy and the grace of your donation.
And you'll see that.
Several thousand
Yeah, and we've got the letters in there and all of that. So take that in. And this is ongoing. And our free pain clinic, some of the people that we're meeting, we've also been meeting with our doctor, Lorena Ventimilla, who is just bar none the most amazing, generous, kind person on the planet. Those of you coming, of course, will get to meet her in person. And of course, our love and respect to Jim over at Epic Lasers, because without the laser, there would be no free pain clinic. And so many, many, many lives are being affected by the blessing of open eyes. And so as all of our eyes are open, we invite you to enjoy. And when we come back, we are diving into more revelations, sharing more letters from our community, taking your phone calls, answering your questions, offering mini soul readings. I'm excited. And we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Enjoy.
Here we go.
All right.
Hi everybody, I'm Bria Rose and welcome to our greenhouse. It is very sunny and warm in here and beautiful. Here we have a couple of tomatoes. Look how red they are. And right here we have some basil. And we have lots of it, not just in the greenhouse, but everywhere. So today we're going to show you how to make vegan pesto, Tosa style. And the way you pick basil in your garden, I mean, of course you can pick the bigger leaves down here. In fact, you want to. But to encourage it to keep growing, you pick it up here, and you see that? Then those leaves can start growing. So we just pick it like this, and then these little guys right here are going to keep growing and growing. For this recipe, all we're going to need is basil, lots of it, olive oil, walnuts, and salt. That's it. What we've done now is filled our KitchenAid with some basil all the way to the top. And now I'm going to add a layer of walnuts. This is a very intuitive recipe. I'm not giving you exact amounts. It's really just based on what feels right. So to me that feels right for now, and we can always add more later. And now for some olive oil. Ooh, look at that. Yummy! And now some salt. Okay, now let's blend it up and see how it tastes. So most likely at some point you're going to have to add more olive oil, because with pesto you need more olive oil than you think. And there we have it, everybody. Tosa Blue Mountain vegan pesto made with walnuts, and it tastes really good. Oh. So now we're going to put some pesto in these containers and freeze it so that when you guys come here for an event or for a retreat, you can have pesto year-round.
The heart of Aura Energy Shield is the silver lining. Our signature silver fabric is pure, woven silver metallic fiber and stands as the antidote to 5G and millimeter wave technology, shielding cells from radiation that pervades our modern society. Faraday-style fabric was designed as radiation shielding, used in space, and all over the world it went mainstream with the use of RFID wallets. Silver is inherently a healing metal through the electrostatic, electroceutical process, worn around the neck or over the head, Our garments offer relief to the upper chakras, endocrine glands, and subtle energies of the body. Our store is filled with products to enhance your Ascension experience. Please visit us at auraenergyshield.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the interlude, the sharing, the energies, the information. We want to tip of the hat to Christina, who is the head of Aura Energy Shield, for her lovely sharing on the 5G fabric and the beautiful work being done there.
Well, and their generosity of 10% of all your purchases there do support our Indigenous and pain-free clinic projects. So
yes.
Thank you. And hey, to those of you that have been sending pictures into Bria Rose, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of your work and your lovely waffles featured. We sure enjoyed seeing your photos as well. And to all of you who would like to respond to Bria Rose, again, you can send an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com, and we'll make sure that those get forwarded to her. And if you make those recipes and you want to send us your pictures, we would love to share them as well. And I can't stress it enough. Find our Facebook. The communities are really having a lot of fun over there.
Yes.
And that's a place where you can get it up right away and share your alterations, how you're working with things. Remember that everything Bria is teaching you is what Shri and I are able to eat right now. So, for example, I am, believe it or not, I can eat no coconut, nothing from coconut. We accidentally had something with coconut, and I literally, like, my whole tongue swelled up, my whole mouth swelled up. It was fascinating. So we're still dancing with what the up-level food program looks like, because I know the way that we're eating right now certainly would not be considered to be healthy by normal standards. And we have let go of what those standards would be. And part of what we're seeing right now is that I have been receiving the mantra, purify, 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 purify. And so in the case of nourishment, for me, I'm down to about 3 foods, but the variations are amazing. And it's not even like in my consciousness. I literally eat because he tells me I have to, or somebody else tells me I should eat, or I'm like, yeah, I guess I should eat. But there is this energy of purify, purify, purify. And so in this awakened light, what is the energy of purify, purify, purify saying to you? Because in the center of this eye, right there, that's the energy. Purify, purify, purify. So when we purify, when we say yes to that, what are we saying yes to? We're saying purify your thoughts, purify your emotions. Isn't it really saying love your thoughts, love your emotions, love this experience? This is the amplitude, the jump, so to speak, right into the 5th dimension. And so many of you are expressing these 5th dimensional energies that we want to share some of your sharing with us, because it's just so ascended and so beautiful, and we love sharing because together we are so better.
Yeah. Well, I want to offer you something here that Huguette sent to me. Huguette is a author of children's books. She lives in Florida.
Beautiful. We love you, Jet.
And that she just felt really called to issue her own prayer, her own call to reminder for all beings. So I'd like to share it with you.
And she sent this to us, of course, during the lunar eclipse time. And Shri and I were both so touched that we felt that it would be beautiful to share it with you as well. So you might want to bring your hand to your heart. Yeah, and just receive this beautiful gift.
So let me share this with you. It goes like this. Children of light, rise to the occasion. You are being made aware through the current events of the self-destruction created when your divine light is dimmed. Your truth is to reflect the greatness that is inherent in each of you through your expression of loving, compassionate care to each human being that walks on your earth. This expression will pull outward to awaken a conscious reality in each one that all life matters. All life is an expression of divine creation. Each and every one of you, as well as the earth known as Mother Gaia, has conscious life to be expressed in a harmonic, symbiotic livelihood for growth and evolution of each species. You have come to a fork in the road of your existence where you need to rise to the occasion. Will you choose to lovingly care for every single life, no matter what outward expression? Or will you choose to stifle goodness and hide your light in the destruction of humanity and its surroundings? You have to make a choice. Your life on earth is about the choices you freely make. A change is being asked of each one. Observe, meditate on the bigger picture. You are only one race. You are a citizen of the earth. Wake up, be aware, create unity and harmony in diversity. Honor the greatness and the talents in each one of your human compatriots. Become benevolent in your diversity. Your diversity is a gift to create a new environment where all can live in harmony and peace. As you begin to understand that you are one citizenship, your unity will pull out to your surroundings, creating the solutions necessary for your evolution. Your gifts are to be harvested to build one common unity in diversity. The earth and its inhabitants have suffered far too long. It is time to acknowledge one citizenship of the earth. And in this way, seeing the Creator's light within each one compels you to respect the rights and property of your brothers and sisters to live in unity and harmony while being in diversity. The overflow will be a caring for all conscious existence of the planet, mineral, plant, animal, and human. Rise to the occasion. Plant seeds of loving care to extend forward. Start in your community. It will flow outward in great pools of energy and light. Gratitude is a great, vibrant energy. Observe. The earth is still abundant. The sun still shines, even in your chaos. Many have shown the way to loving compassion. Move forward to renewable, to a sustainable existence. Become one as many in diversity, in love, peace, unity, and harmony. Peace abide, many as one. This is from the Reverend Huguette Castaneda. So
we love you,
dear
Jet. Thank you, sweetheart. Everybody just really breathed that in. And Shri, you know, as we were sharing that from Huguette, I was feeling everyone who's been holding on the phones. And so why don't we start and see who we have holding with some questions for you. And so let's say hi to all of you. Go ahead, Shri.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, over at the 800 line at BBS, we have a first-time caller, and this is Lydia from Arizona on line 4. Let's say hello.
Hi, Lydia. Namaste. Welcome.
Namaste to both of you. You guys have got beautiful energy.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for calling, dear. It's good to connect with you.
Uh-huh.
Definitely. I guess the reason why I'm calling is I've got a lot of things that are like earth-shattering that's going to make a great impact, and I'd like to see what you feel about it.
Well, first thing I want to share is wow. Like that's the only word that keeps coming out is wow. But as I'm sharing that with you, when I hold my physical heart center, it feels like there was a knife that was put in there a long time ago, and it's never been pulled out. It just has become part of the fabric of what's pulsing. And it's like, as I'm looking at that, it looks like a mesh, like a mesh that literally is holding open this floodgate of support. I mean, floodgate. And they're saying that it's your breath. Like as I'm connecting with you, I'm almost having a hard time speaking. I feel like I'm trying to be choked. It's like, whew, gasping for air. And so what they're saying is release any sense of doubt and swallow in the air of truth as the flow begins again. And part of this flow for you is about really saying, I get it, which is really saying to your ego, you can relax now. I am here. And I see, and I am grateful. And this mesh is just dissolved in this sense of gratitude. And it's like these floodgates open. And so that's what they want me to share with you today. And I honor you because, wow, you are a profound master. Thank you for being here.
Well, namaste, and thank you. And just one little question. Somebody wants me to reveal the truth. And the truth is, I've been studying a lot of law, and a lot of that's been hidden from all of us, how to pursue the truth to set us free. I have the key that opens all that for everyone.
Well, if that is what you feel your mission is, then I encourage you to do it. That's the moment before you. That's really it. It's to do what you feel is right in the forum that is the one that you are ready to come forward in. So thank you for saying yes to you. Many
Namaste,
blessings.
dear.
Namaste.
Wow.
Whew, wow, are we blessed? What an audience. Thank you.
Absolutely,
Thank you all for
absolutely.
being here. We come together. Sri, lots of hands up over here. So let's go to Montana, huh?
We're going to go to Billings, Montana.
All right.
and
Hey,
say hi.
hands up for Sri. Namaste, Billings, Montana.
Namaste, Sri and Kira. I am so honored and blessed to be able to talk to you both. You are just amazing, and I can't express my gratitude enough for just all your teachings and your guidance and your sharing of amazing information and guidance and inspiration and this whole community, the love, and just thank you.
Thank you.
Like I said, I could go on and on because you both are just amazing, and I am so blessed to have found you. My question for Sri, well, I've been really struggling. I know what I want. I know what I need to do. And it's like I take one step forward and then get pushed back, have things block me. And a lot of fear coming up about speaking my truth, about moving forward. And as a result, I have a lot of digestive problems, and I'm wondering if Sri, if both of you can look at what's going on with my body, and just to make sure that there's nothing that is more serious, I guess. And any guidance is much appreciated. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your trust and for calling in. And once again, there are some layers here I do want to say something, that when it comes to digestion, and in your case, one of your most powerful chakras is your heart chakra, and your ability to learn to love yourself with ever greater depth. Because the digestion is about, I'm willing to take nourishment. There's the symbology there of I take in nourishment and I assimilate that nourishment for my soul's mission in this body. So when we have digestive troubles, it oftentimes indicates that we are of two minds about our mission, or we're of two minds about, we have the part of us that was conditioned and trained, and then we have the part of us that's the innate innate soul that took birth here and is working through the conditions of our birth and cultures and families and all of that. And so this is a time of unification for you, a time to come into alignment with the highest expression of who you are. And this involves, back to your heart, to love yourself enough to be willing to let go of what is no longer serving you and to accept that which is of the highest. Now, that's a general kind of phrase. You have to distill that down to what in my life am I not digesting? What in my life is causing me distress? Bring it into the particular. And that we can't do here on the radio. That's more of a longer discussion. But I want to encourage you to bring a hand to your heart and to be able to say, I trust myself. I trust what I know. And I'm willing to bring that trust right down into my digestive area and say that I accept my life and I trust my life and I am willing to move forward in a way that's wholesome and nourishing for me. Start with yourself. What do you want to add?
I would really like to just share my love that as you gave Shri and I both permission, I see 3 what look like lumps in what I would call the, is that the transcending colon?
Yeah.
And these lumps are exactly the 3 things Shri just mentioned. It's about self-acceptance, it's about self-love, and it's about releasing that which no longer serves. You are literally tied in knots right now. And this is all coming down to what the divine director said today, which is cast aside that which causes fury, and you shall release doubt forever. Right now, you really need to get clear on what you want, because it's bottled up inside of you, and it literally is keeping you stuck. You're in that lateral. It's like you're just it's just not moving. And the key is that it will move the minute you say yes to whichever choice you want to make. Doesn't mean you have to make a specific choice. Just make a really strong choice and get rid of the fear. And the only way to get through fear is to look it in the eye and love it for what it is, the remnant of an ego that is terrified of change. Become the mother of you, and all will burst forward. So thank you for being here today. I really honor you, because so many are going through this. So thank you for being so courageously bold. I honor you.
Thank you so much. Namaste to you both. Much love and many blessings. Thank you.
To you, my love, as well. Namaste.
We love you, dear.
Whew, Shri, wow.
Yeah.
You feel that?
Absolutely.
I think, do all of you feel that right now? And that is not to be unexpected, meaning that here we are, and I'm talking about that third, you feel that third chakra?
Yeah,
there's almost like a
third
third chakra vibration, because this is big energy. I want to remind you for a moment, and if you've been with us for a while, you already know this. In May, we were in a choice month, and it was the only month during this year, possibly during this 2-year period, where the energy was coming in and it was to stop here. Remember, it was all about opening up these channels and igniting them back out for this explosion energy. So this has happened. So imagine that all this explosion happened and you haven't filled up. So you have this huge propulsion, but if you don't have enough fuel for the journey, it's going to be hard to keep up. That's what the doubt does. It's the leak in the engine. Doubt is that slow seeping, hey, we're losing oxygen, right? That's what doubt does. And what makes the whole? That fury energy, that anger energy. And so it's like there's a machine gun of anger and fury being sent at your force field of illuminated presence. Is it strong? Because if it's strong, it can't penetrate. You don't even know it's there. And the reason you don't know it's there, and I want to share this again right now, is because of this. Because this month is about living in the 5th dimension. It's about really saying yes to who you are. Very quick overview of this diagram again. That beautiful violet planet there, that is above the planetary thought body of our current existence, our current co-creative nature of Gaia. That rising rainbow is beautiful beings. Look at them as beings of light, ascended presence. That is the gateway that is open right now as you enter into that 5th dimensional experience, whereby the violet energy really comes forward. And then when you're gazing back at the illumination, at the explosion, that white explosion of energy there, that's how you get into the eye of illumination, which thereby ignites all presence. That is what's going on right now. And that is why this is a moment of saying yes to you, because the all is carrying that energy. And that's pretty intense.
You know, and one of the things our last caller reminds us is that without anchoring in truly trusting yourself, without loving yourself, you know, so many people say you got to love yourself, have high self-esteem, but let's anchor this into the deeper knowing, which is I trust who I am, that I trust I am. And in that trust is the foundation of my actions, therefore, arise from that alignment of divine trust in my essence, in my soul, in the light within. Use whatever phrase gets you a little bit energized, because the key is that when we are loving ourselves, there is a wellspring of energy.
The explosion, right?
When we are lined up with the trust of the universe, there is a wellspring of energy. What is creation? Creation is the synergistic expression of consciousness through form into creation, into manifestation. Creation is the essence of the expanding universe. You are part of this.
Yeah,
You're not just sitting there going, oh, look at all that creation. Hey, no, it's happening right inside of you. And it's time to get off your butt, so to speak, and say, I'm going to participate with the creative energy that manifested this life. I've been given a privilege. I've been given the opportunity to be conscious of an individuated, interactive expression with a greater context. Oh my goodness, who would have thought of that one?
Well, and that's the key. You couldn't have.
You can't pre-plan this.
You can't think it. You know, as you always say so beautifully, right? You cannot play your way off the game board. You can only lift. And the universe has just offered you a giant opportunity. Now, I want to just make sure you get that opportunity is without limits, sin limites, right? It is out there. Why? Because in the experience of light, light expands. It is eternal. It is continuous. It is without judgment, without words. And as you were just sharing, the gift of what Shri was mentioning is that you are being invited to let go of that which is linear. In the linear experience right now, we have a past and we have a present and we have a future, and we can turn and look this way, we can turn and look that way, or we can just look this way. But we never see the whole picture. And this is another reason why I go watch Contact again. You take this line, right? I take this end and I bring it together, and it's a circle. And then you have a choice. Are you going to stay on that line, on that circle, walking around, only ever seeing a little more because you have a bit of an arc, but you still can't see it all, right? But that's like a fourth dimensional moment where you're walking that bridge. You're like, oh yeah, I see. And you're chasing all the time because you have to keep walking to keep seeing further. And so it's very much like a hamster wheel. Or you can dive into the circle to stand in the center and see it all from the perspective of the divine compassion within. The one thing that I am so grateful for, among many, 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 many things, was that during my near-death experience in 1989, it was so evident and so clear that we cannot mess up, that we are all one, and that through that awareness, through the acceptance of who we are, is how consciousness changes. We talk about how war affects our world. We talk about how all these other energies affect our world. My angels, we are at the moment where the conversation needs to be how consciousness is affecting our world. That is the war. It is a war of consciousness, to use those words or the words of this realm. And so in a war of consciousness, all the things are the opposite of the war of density. Thereby, you must lift through it. And in June, we are being gifted. Now, this isn't the only time it can happen. However, we are all being gifted with an opportunity. Those of us that have anchored in the fifth dimension, Sri and I anchored in the fifth dimension back in 2004. So those of us that have been anchored here a while, it's time for you to be working. You need to be up. You need to be having your hands open. You need to be working the front line because there's a lot that are coming in for the first time. And we all need to be here together. There is room for everything, everyone. And then there's those of us that need to be holding that seventh dimensional gateway open so that the fifth dimensional energy can get the support it's needing because of what's happening in the fourth dimension. And we won't take up time on the show today, but we've talked about this. Go watch our other shows. And so that is what June is giving us. An opportunity as these energies, and I may I show that again, the kind of the collision scene.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the June explosion again. The eye is open. And in this collision, it's about absolutely anchoring into your fifth dimensional presence because it's all about lifting, lifting, lifting. And again, I'm going to show the June energy, seeing it all from the fifth dimensional presence where everything is aligned and you're able to maintain what we like to refer to as that wide angle lens. And this is also why I can't stress enough that the June solstice time, please go to SriandKira.com, join us live. And if you can't join us live, at least register so you'll get the video. This is not going to be a public event. It will be easy to access. We're going to do it at YouTube, but it will be a private event. And we really just encourage you to please give yourself the gift of joining with this critical mass because it needs to be a fire activation. It is a profound moment for humanity. It is in the middle of this triple energy of the Mercury retrograde that is already influencing our creation. It's just about saying yes to you. Everything is exploding right now. Mm-hmm. And so how it's exploding is the blessing of this moment for you.
And it reminds me also to remind you that ascension is not a phenomenon. Mm-hmm. It is all about consciousness.
Yes.
And that the world outside, the mass consciousness that is expressing in many ways that could be called tragic, is expressing as best they know how, given the pain, given the state of consciousness they're in. Mm-hmm. And that the only solution, if you feel it's a problem, is to lift consciousness on this planet, not to engage it at the level of its creation, because then we're engaging the polarities, and that dance goes on ad infinitum. So it becomes a little bit of a dynamic right up here in your own perceptual filters to be able to anchor in that glorious state of joyful presence, I am. To be able to look at other beings and say, so. May your path lead you to the peace and the joy that you are seeking in the way that you wish to find it. And still to be available when help is needed.
Well, and I want to jump in here because I'm hearing some of you saying, yes, Sri, that sounds really good, but sometimes, they're going to get away with this or get away with that. I really want to clarify that because can be so easily misunderstood, and yet it's so important to discern. So here's the key. Yes, it is absolutely brutal to move through what density will do. It will do everything in its power to stop you. And it will put everything in front of you that it knows. It will be like glue. It will be like the most irresistible energy that you've ever seen. You will be like compelled to watch that story or follow that feed or read that thing or believe whatever. It will become compelling. And the reason it's doing that is because deep within you, you still have not said yes to who you are. You still don't trust what you know is true. So you're looking for all this outside validation. Can we put the cycle of recognition back up? You're looking for all this outside validation. And I'm not talking about the you that's watching this show right now. I'm talking about the you, no, sweetheart, right here, this one.
Oh,
that one. Yeah. Okay. So we showed this to you earlier. Okay. What's happening right now is that many are stuck in the emotional joy of being fed, the UFO conspiracies, and why aren't we talking about the false flags? Because that's all emotional fodder. It doesn't matter. It matters to those who need to create it. We are all involved in the co-creative process. So where do you choose to create? So through that constant up level, that absolute irresistible attraction, fear. And it's the fear of what? The fear that it just might really happen. The fear that's like, oh my God, what if? Well, this is important. We got to pay attention to it. All these other people are talking about it. And all these other people are angry. And they're feeding the same fear. And then they come together and they have to talk about it. It's not just something that they think to talk about. They have to. It's what glues them together. And then when you become the one who starts holding that higher presence as a means to witness to that being that, yes, this is all very true if that's the level of consciousness you want to carry. And to model a different level of consciousness, thereby one of two things happen. Either the one that you are with sincerely begins to up-level their consciousness with yours, and this can happen spontaneously, and we're going to read you a letter from one of our favorite community couples that everybody keeps asking about, so you can up-level together, or up-level will lead to the separation. And then, in the separation, in the knowing, will come the test after the separation. Because the minute you say yes, the minute you say, okay, I have just lost, let go of, a being, usually it's a relationship or a person or a family member, oh my God, they've just left. What have I done? This is wrong. That is not the you that moved forward. That is the strength of density trying to stop you at the moment of breakthrough. And that's what's happening right now on a personal level for everyone, on a global level, on a galactic level, on a universal level. We are at a collision moment. So the place to be with that wide open eye is at that 0 point in that torus field, holding the alchemical transformation of the yoga of self-ascension through steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. And that means stop looking at everything. What are you committed to? What do you really want? And that's the moment before you, and all the lights are on you. And not everyone can stand naked on stage when the lights go on. Well, just calling it like it is.
I like it.
Rock on.
and we all find our way.
Yeah.
So controversy and conspiracy sometimes provide a fuel that engages us for a period of time. Mm-hmm. And as it is with any passion expressed through reactivity, it will become an endless loop if you allow it to be that. Yeah. It can be an opportunity to gain in discernment and then to step through it, because enlightenment is about holding a space, not responding to content.
Breathe that in. Can you say that again?
Enlightenment is truly a spaciousness, not a reactivity to content. And so the content of our world is an endless machine spewing out little nuggets that you can choose to grab onto because there was an emotional fuel inside of you that said, right, that's the one, right, that's the Velcro right there. Yeah. And that brings us back to that pyramid that we were sharing with you, that the emotional body then gets caught in that cycle of fear and anger. And of course, there's all kinds of intellectual nuances that go with that.
Oh my gosh, yes. and at the end of the day, I do want to share that there's two things that are important to remember. And one of them is that in this energy of explosion, remember that the victim triangle, which is the outer side of this triangle right now, that is the triangle of density. That is the triangle of the third dimension and a lot of the fourth. And that is that victim, abuser, rescuer, meaning that you will be playing one of these roles over and over and over again until you lift your consciousness and move through the fear that life could be different. This is an addiction. And how you know you're caught in the loop is when you start doubting yourself again. Remember, that's the ammunition.
Yep.
And so in this moment, it's about the transformation. Are you choosing to be the victim, abuser, rescuer? Because remember, all of those roles exist inside of all. Or are you choosing to be the teacher, mentor, healer? Which expression of your divine nature is coming forward?
Absolutely. And so self-doubt is indeed a form of self-abuse. Self-doubt is the energy that will destroy the wholesomeness of your creation of that which has not yet been fully experienced. We are, I mentioned earlier, I was feeling very, very excited, energized about the energy of creation, and that creation doesn't have a doubt. Creation,
Right, of course not.
Creation is that expression of the alchemy of consciousness interacting with intention and form, and it's creation.
And at the energy, at the essence of creation is love.
Love.
Right? At the essence of doubt is anger and fury. And that's the difference right there. You cannot simultaneously birth from love and be angry. It can't happen. And so if you are really looking at anger, and I get that a lot of you are, and I still have my own temptations put in front of me all the time, this is the blessing of June. If we are being given this open energy to get up there to the fifth dimension, then simultaneously we will have around us igniting everything that would stop us from doing so as well. That is the way of this world. That's the collision of the ruby and this beautiful blue energy, this crystalline integration of support, or the anger and fury. It's kind of like fire and water. This anger and fury is meeting water that freezes it. So it basically says, okay, we're going to keep it at this level. We're going to put it in this box. And when things get put in a box, they get intense. If you leave some fruit in a box for too long, it tends to rot, right? Because it cannot see light. There's no air to breathe. And so, as they said so beautifully today, it is water that freezes everything, so frozen it cannot move, and can only survive by shutting down all unnecessary systems. And the first thing that shuts down when we believe that is our spiritual connection. Because what we have said in that moment is, I will give away to the fear and doubt. I am in the habit, of the pain, but I know it. It's my pain. It's my habit. And because of that, it actually makes me feel safe. To look at that honestly and nakedly and go, wow, look how powerful I am that I created that, is the first step to breaking free of it. And that's in front of all. I keep going back to this graphic, right? That's in front of all right now. Pretty powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we do have, we've got a first-time caller standing by over here. And
Okay.
We've got an email to
We got
read.
a caller here, an email here.
Yeah,
All right.
callers.
Well, where would you like to go first, my love?
Well, you dig out that email.
All right.
I'm going to say hi over at BBS on line 2. We'll welcome Maria from Atlanta.
Hey, from Maria from Atlanta. Welcome.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
Hi, sweetheart.
So happy to hear you and connect with you. Thank you.
Thank you. How can we serve you?
I was wondering if I could get a mini soul reading today.
Well, I want you to take in a deep breath and relax.
Okay.
All right. And of course, and the reason I'm inviting you to do that is, it's interesting as I'm connecting with you, even as you were saying hello, and I'm still feeling it. It's like there's how do I want to describe this? It's like a big balloon that's stuck right at the top of your third chakra. And it's like it's inverted. And then there's this cute little pink ribbon that's coming all the way up and out of your crown. And every time I connect with your breathing, it's like it wants to stop there, and it keeps building this energy. And the message that's coming in is from this beautiful. It's like they're calling themselves a ring. It's like a ring of angels. Like they're holding hands, but it's very much like a ring, and it looks very much outside. It reminds me a lot of like a solstice dancing kind of celebration. Lots of flowers, lots of colors, lots of flowing robes, and they're dancing around you right now, and they're saying it is time for you to rise, and that as you bring your hands to your solar plexus, and I'm doing this with you right now, and you close your eyes and smile, the balloon will become the lotus that will appear in your right hand, and the ribbon will ignite the opening of the upper realms that you have waited for. All you need to do is breathe up, relax, smile, and say yes. And so it is.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Much
Thank
love,
you, my
dear.
love. And breathe into your heart. There is so much love energy going on in your heart right now that I almost felt like my chest was going to explode. And I'm feeling what feel like little needles in my left arm. There's so many people that are connecting with this right now. Everyone is receiving this profound crystalline moment of expansion. So thank you for opening that for all of us. We are great-filled. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Many
You're so
blessings
welcome.
to you both.
And to
dear.
you, my angel. Namaste. Wow. Everybody take a breath. I need to take a breath. And you know what, Shri? It's the perfect moment to share Paul's letter.
Okay.
So many people have been asking about Paul. And for those of you that don't know, Paul and his wife, Christine, who we just adore, wrote into us after Paul's kind of on-air awakening after connecting with Shri and I for a mini soul reading, actually, and how it all happened. And so he's been in and out of the chat. A lot of you send us and go, hey, have you heard from Paul? Thank you. And so, yes, we have heard from Paul. And so here's his recent letter. And Shri, I'm going to let you read that, okay?
All right. It says, Namaste, Bria Rose and all of Tosa Blue Mountain. It was so awesome to see your video yesterday with the waffles. So that's referring to last Sunday.
That's last Sunday's show.
Yep. To be able to put your name with your beautiful smile is fantastic. Sending you so much of our love to you. I am blessed to train 53 adult athletes every Monday morning, Monday through Thursday at 5 and 6 a.m.
Right on.
So we are using so much of what we are learning with our people. We just finished up with I Am Here Monday, and we start off every morning with 3 beautiful Ave Sa breaths and say out loud, I love you. And all we are focused on with Monday is that I am here and our minds are open.
Really breathe in how beautiful this is. I mean, wow. Go ahead.
This is great. Yeah.
I'm loving this.
And he continues, Tuesday is I am ready day.
I am really digging that. Loving that. Yeah.
So Monday was our announcement that we made it. We put 2 feet down, took steps. We are here. And Tuesday we are ready to make positive choices. Wednesday is I am open.
Are you guys digging this as much as we are, right? So digging this.
This is applied spirituality,
Totally.
friends. We talk about saying yes to so much. We talk on igniting our heart before we get home and go to work. Beautiful.
Aww.
And Thursday is Guide Me Day.
Loving it.
If you are not sure what you need to do or where you need to go or what you need to say, just think, Guide me. And from there, go and heal the world. Our program is Impact Sports Fitness, and we put an emphasis on impact. I just ask that everyone go out and impact the world.
Woohoo!
So we are now seeing people use these same teachings on their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter posts. So amazing. When I tell you how much has happened since I called into the Sunday service on April 19th, you honestly can't even imagine. On absolute focused awareness, steadfast commitment, and complete trust. In one of our sessions, we traveled a few weeks ago, and earlier that day, I had asked my wife, I wonder what spirit animal I am. And as soon as I was engaged, the first second, boom, there was a lion, nose to nose with me. Wow!
Miracle Enlightenment Mastery Team membership, right? Go ahead.
Thank you, Bria Rose, for your time and your love. It is certainly felt, and thank you and love to all at Tosa Blue Mountain. Namaste, Paul.
Well, Paul, welcome home to you, my love, and your beautiful, beautiful wife, Christine. He also sent us a picture. They are so beautiful.
And I just really want to applaud your applied spirituality.
Yes.
To make an impact is to say, I choose to express. I choose to move forward. I choose to take my guidance and go with it. Play ball.
Yeah, just so beautiful. Thank you. And I really also honor you because this is the law of instantaneous manifestation. And it does come from, and what you two are modeling, when we stay in that 0 point field of the Taurus and we ignite, it's the law of instantaneous manifestation because we are living in our divine mastery presence. And thank you to the both of you for modeling such beautiful sacred union. Shri and I love being your mirrors. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so, beloved ones, as we are coming to a close for today.
How did that happen?
Well, it happens.
Wow.
Because part of the world is moving on a different timeline.
Right.
And we try to dance with that as we can.
Let's all come back into this space, right?
So bring a hand to your heart.
Oh, let's do that.
And let's just be here right now. There's been a lot shared about June, about the energies, about the first 6 months of June greeting the next 6 months of 2021 coming back to invite us forward. And there's been a lot shared that I'm sure if you were to go back and watch this video again, and I encourage you to do so, that you would find it would challenge some of your habits. It would challenge some of your beliefs. And what's important in this moment is to breathe and to trust yourself as you are. I am a being that is expanding. I am consciousness expanding. The paradigms that served me in the past are being renewed into constructs that will help me engage what is to come. I allow my constructs to expand. I allow my love to expand. I allow that which I am to expand and ascend into that which I truly am meant to express. I trust myself, and so it is. And so I offer that declaration to each of you, because we trust you. We are so delighted to be with you each and every Sunday, to share these revelations, to interact through the phone and the email, and to just be in this crucible of consciousness. Love is the foundation, and consciousness is the choice.
And starting tomorrow, please join us every Monday for Living in the Fifth Dimension, as for the first time ever, we start revealing the keys of that ascended experience. Join us, why not? All donations. We'll see you tomorrow night, and if not, we'll see you next week.
Much love.
Namaste. Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.